Welcome to this video, which is a selection of different URBEXs, abandoned buildings, abandoned lifts, working lifts and a crane. Basically all of these different video clips in this are all videos that didn't quite make a full video of their own right, so I've compiled them all into this video. So this video contains a wide selection of different things. Let's start off in Liverpool. And here I'm on a roof of a residential building. Let's start off with a leg dangle. Let's now go to the first URBEX site, which is this old abandoned office building. This has got 3 lifts, a set of 2 passenger lifts and an individual service lift. The lifts here are some old 1960s Platt Schindler lifts. The main set of 2 lifts were modernised in the 80s or 90s. Let's take a look at them. Open up the first lift and the lift is up on a higher floor.
Well, lift number 1 looks like this.
We open up the second lift, which is actually down on the ground floor. Sadly, I can't open the inner door because it's been replaced with a GAL mechanism and you can't open the doors by hand because of how highly geared the motor is. You actually have to turn the wheel to open the door. So let's go up the stairs to the next floor, which is the mezzanine.
Danger! Materials containing asbestos.
On the mezzanine level, only one of the 2 lifts stops here. Luckily, this is the lift I need.
Only one of the 2 lifts stops here. The other lift does not stop at this floor.
Let's open up the doors here and take a look at the car top. I noticed this very interesting old looking car top.
So we've got old chassis. There, nice old chassis. Cables. 2 sets of doors and now on a GAL.
Let's now open up the GAL door with the intention of when I went down to leave the building later on, I could take a look inside the lift. This didn't go to plan and you'll find out why in a minute.
Let's open up the GAL because so we can get in the lift. We can now get inside that lift. Big fucking chassis on that. New inspector, interesting, instruction controls on the other side. So that's the default side, it's the other side.
Let's take a look at the mezzanine level. And this is a very grand floor in this building for what is just a mezzanine. How is this a mezzanine? This looks like an office space or something. It's got double height ceiling. So surely if it's double height ceiling, surely the floor above in that double height would be a mezzanine and not this? I don't get how this is a mezzanine and why only one of the 2 lifts stops here.
Any intruders will be prosecuted if you're authorised to put your key on the light. A changed security provider for a building. No. Degree course. Academic Enhancement Unit. John Foster Reception.
Let's now take a look at the service lift. This is a 1960s Platt Schindler lift that was modernised by Otis, but this lift has still got its original 1960s Platt Schindler door mechanism. I've never taken a look at this mechanism before, and it's a very unusual and very interesting door mechanism.
Door opening. Oh, that's an old mechanism. That mechanism feels extremely old. Door opening. Oh, look at that look at this. That mechanism. What the fuck's that mechanism? I've never seen anything like that before. That is old. Look at that. Door unlatch. That is really old. No, that door's heavy. Door opening. Inside, Otis buttons. Oh, it's a Platt Schindler! Fucking hell! That's the old mechanism, not even 70s R series, it's 60s, proper old type. Yep, Platt Schindler. Shame it's had a mod. Oh, that's an old key, you don't see them like that anymore. Shame about the Otis rubbish, but that is rare. It's not even the R series, it's older, it's a full old type. Especially when you see that mechanism. Like, what else uses that as a mechanism? I've never seen that before. There's a ladder.
Probably not for storage.
Little empty space above there.
So we now walk up the stairs to the first floor. This is what the first floor looks like, a typical office building.
Where's the lift stop? Oh, because it's a double height floor. Oh, that's a shame. You're just about to see it. Oh, it's got distance inspection control. Yeah, so it's modded. A shame. No Schindler inspection controls on that.
And it was at this point that we heard workers coming into the building, and we got caught.
The people come in. No! Hello?
Oh dear. Sadly, I did not make it up to the motor room which I wanted to see, and sadly I did not manage to take a look inside the passenger lifts. So that was disappointing. So then, let's have a little update on Liverpool. With the car park has a set of 4 express lifts. These are 1970s express relay controlled lifts, and it's a set of 4, which would be very impressive for a set of 4 relay lifts. I now believe this was originally 2 sets of 2, and Express came back with their later late 70s, 80s equipment for the modification for the dispatcher for it to be a set of 4, but it's still a very unusual and rare set of lifts. Sadly, these are no longer working, and they've been permanently switched off.
Oh shit! They've actually fucked it. It's about to get pulled down, so they've literally stopped coming down. Ah. Bye bye to the set of 4. Oh no! For fuck's sake.
And along we go to the Turn the Building art installation for the Liverpool City of Culture. This was a very interesting art installation, only now looking at it from an engineering point of view. This must have had a lot going on behind the scenes to make this work. It's a section of facade that pops out of the building and turns around as an art thing. But the amount of engineering behind this is spectacular because all of the panes of glass, all of the facade of the building, all of the metal window pane sections all comes out like the building's just been cut. You can't just cut a building, so this has a lot of engineering behind the scenes to make this work. Sadly, we no longer get to see it work as it's no longer in operation. We now go along to a construction site in Liverpool. This building is under construction and is near completion. The crane has already been taken down, so it's very near completion, and this building has got 21 floors. Let's take a look inside of this building.
It's a little bit more fitted, not much. Oh, small apartments. Yeah. Fucking hell, is a small. So fucking small.
They're small and they're expensive. This is the bathroom. Yeah, bathroom. It's dirty. Look at the state of the bath already.
These ones are finished. Closer, no. Still a fair way off. So fucking small. Oh, I'd hate to live in an apartment this small.
Boiler. Yeah, it's the same. That's got a toilet that one.
Let's walk up the stairs to the roof. And up on the top floor, let's take a look at the lifts, which are some Cone NMX 11 lifts. NMX 11 is under spec for 21 floors. That is disappointing and should have gone with an MX 20.
Under spec NMX 11 for 20 floors. That's bad.
And sadly, these have KCE logic, which is disappointing because LCE is much better. So until KCE is well documented by third-party maintainers, for now they're kind of tied in to having Cone maintain the lift, which gives them less freedom of choice.
Oh, no chassis either. It is a bad lift.
Cheap lift, isn't it?
Yeah, for number of floors is a bit under spec. A bit disappointing. I was hoping it'd be better in this.
Let's now go up onto the rooftop. Let's now exit this building site. When we entered, we avoided all the cameras, but as we exit, we might as well go and wave at the camera, and the off-site security started shouting at us through the megaphones.
Did I say a word of that?
And now we go along to a very interesting URBEX site. I say URBEX site, this one's actually still active. This is the UK's Fire Training Centre. They've got all kinds of scenarios set out for trainee firefighters to train on. And there's some very interesting stuff here. From things like fake crash scenes, pylons and electrical wires and trying to rescue people off them.
That is interesting. That has to do a rescue if someone got caught on the electrics. This pylon scenario. If they are meant to be getting someone off that, you would not want to be caught there.
To an actual train crash scene which they've created to train the fire brigade on. It's very interesting.
Here is
Oil tanker.
a lorry. I saw what's underneath it. I've not seen that before.
Yeah, how's that tipped over like that?
It would take an effort to do that. All of the pipes coming out of the different compartments in the tanker.
Hmm.
This is so weird. I really like it. This is funny.
And there's lots and lots of various cars about. These are all written off cars which have crashed, which they brought in for cheap to allow for trainee firefighters to destructively test their skills on them.
Wow, this is knackered. All those write-offs they've got for it, that's smashed. So that's what happens when your car's written off. It goes for fire brigade training, which is a good use, really. That's got a spare wheel on that.
Covered in flies and that. It's got a flat tyre as well.
And no window. Toddington. Oh, badly. The thing is, these are all genuine write-offs, aren't they?
Yeah.
I thought about £100 a car probably, or even slightly less.
What, just to smash it up?
Yeah, about £100 a car. This is old. Old and, yeah, it's Leyland Daff. What number is this? It is, oh, it doesn't have its number plate. I wonder how old that is.
Also, one very interesting thing in this centre is this section of motorway I've set up with speed cameras. Is this a scenario to train the firefighters, or alternatively, is this a test rig for the manufacturer of the speed camera to test their new motorway speed cameras? It's a very weird setup, 6 lanes of motorway with 6 speed cameras.
You've burned out building, eh? So that's a mock-up university after the students have trashed it and burnt it out. I just weird out, mate. It's a bit of brutalist, a random piece of brutalist in the middle of nowhere.
I really wonder if this has lifts in it to train the firefighters. Sadly, I didn't get to find out, because at this point we headed towards the train crash scene. And it's at this point we got caught by some very angry security guards. So then, now let's go along to London. And let's start off in London with this very interesting old car lift. It's got very old gated doors, which are automatic, very unusual. And now let's climb an elbow crane. Sadly, this crane did not drive as is on generator, but let's just climb it anyway to take a look at it.
This crane driver's got a really severe BO problem. Don't get a very clear view out the window of all this stuff. The rest of you sitting here, you can see down, I guess. Can you see?
Sun.
Yeah, I guess you can see down to the side. You can't really I guess you can see your hook. Yeah, I wouldn't personally want to be driving with this much shit on the window. Oh, there's no apple juice for me to taste test. That's a shame.
One in Reading had quite a lot of that.
So your main cable to the crane goes up here to the carabiner and up to there, meaning it does not have rotating axis on the electronics. So if you were to rotate this crane more than 3 times, you'd twist this cable and damage it. So the crane driver has to make sure that when he's rotating crane, he doesn't twist it more than 3 times in a circle more than its start position. That also means, I'm guessing, the crane can't weather vane, because the weather vane could potentially turn it more than 3 times. Usually cranes now go up to a box, which is like a rotating axis on your wires, so you don't have that issue, so you can rotate it indefinitely. But this, you cannot rotate that indefinitely because your twist on the cable will be bad for it. There's your elbow crane, got a ladder going up it, but to get to the ladder you're going to have to step to there, and up. Oh, interesting, it's parked the crane with the crane touching the buffer. Usually when they raise the jib to park it, they don't take it quite to a buffer, they stop just before, but this crane has literally been parked with the jib touching the buffer, which is unusual. It's on a 7:1 cabling, so there's an odd number on your cabling ratio, which is unusual. Normally you stick to an even number. You've got 3 here and 1 there, so that's on a 7:1 cabling ratio for your jib. So your advantage of having an elbow crane over a regular crane is when you extend your jib, the hook doesn't move. So as you extend the jib, the hook always stays level. The other benefit is it's very compact. So if you've got somewhere with very strict sort of restrictions where you can take your crane, either somewhere where you can't trespass over certain land, such as, I don't know if it's railway property or something like really serious, or alternatively it's just some situation where it's just not possible for the crane to trespass into other land, in other words going over other land. This sort of crane's very good because when you take the hook in, you're also taking the jib in so the crane doesn't overstretch any land. That's your positives. Your negatives, to me, outweigh your positives massively, because the amount of weight reduction as the jib goes out would be extreme. Normally in a crane, the further out you take your jib, the more capacity reduction of how much weight it can lift. But because of the design of the elbow crane, having a counterweight fixed there, the counterweight's fixed, but the elbow goes out, that's going to lead to the situation where the further you take your jib, your elbow jib out, that capacity of what a crane can take will reduce drastically. So at full extent of this, it will take very little capacity when the arm goes to its full length outwards. So to me it's a useless crane, but for a very niche scenario of needing a crane that doesn't extend into its neighbouring sites as it rotates, it fits a certain niche application, which is the purpose of it. So there's the motor for the jib. Relatively small motor and quite a small winding drum, surprisingly, since that's doing the whole jib. That's on a 7:1, so 7 movements of that cable results in 1 equivalent movement of distance on your elbowed jib. And you've got that motor there. Now for your hook, you've got a much bigger motor actually, well a little bit bigger motor, that's your hook's motor there. Then there is the winding drum for your hook. So quite a basic winding drum. On a flat crane, so on a horizontal flat crane, it's slightly more technical for your hook because as the carriage goes out, you have to make sure your hook doesn't change height as the carriage goes out. So I have quite a bit more complicated cabling system. But on this kind of crane, just like your regular jib crane or your elbow jib crane, literally the hook's movement is just based on a simple winding drum, and that doesn't change as the jib goes in and out. So here is the logic cabinet. It's got 3 VF drives. It actually tells you what the VFs are. The hoist VF drive for your hook, the luffing VF drive for the jib, for the elbow jib, and the slewing VF drive for your rotation. They're very small PLC that just controls the system. Got that there, you've got relay logic there, very basic crane. That's a diagram of the cabinet showing all of the relays there and your 3 VF drives. It tells you your circles you can take it in, anti-collision, zone active, zone neutralised, zone 3D. Because both Devlins and House of Fraser are being converted massive department stores that no one actually wants. So they're keeping the shop at the bottom probably for some really tatty shit shop, probably like American Candy or some utter rubbish will be at the bottom, and the rest of it will now be just housing. They're adding on probably I think 2 extra floors, because 60s buildings have good foundations and modern day buildings are really lightweight and cheap, so they're putting 2 lightweight floors on top of it to make the building a bit taller. They're demolishing the top floor because the top floor's not a flat shape, and that will stop them from adding the extra floors. So they're taking off the top floor then adding on 2 new floors. A shame, I preferred the department store. It's more interesting than some modern shitty housing thing.
So then, along we go to Reading. Unless URBEX an abandoned office building. This building has got a 1970s Schindler lift.
The door's a bit fucked. Yeah, a bit warm. Oh, door's cat flapped. Okay, inspection A&A. There's another door on the lift. Someone skipped another door through. Someone's been kicking doors down the lift shaft.
So here I'm on the ground floor.
Someone's had a beer party in here, it seems. Pepsi, or might be piss. And is that doing it?
I didn't notice that.
This tree, yeah?
Yeah.
It's inside the lift. Got a light down there. Some rubbish. Got the buttons. Oh no, Jackson's invaded it. Overloaded. Alarm. Up to floor 3. Ground and key for basement.
Oh,
But this way.
yeah.
And let's take a look at the spooky basement.
All the tats on the walls.
Yeah, there's a lot of tat on the walls. Should look it back up again. Oh, Schindler door, your app positions. Always Schindler. Oh, that is stiff, that hasn't opened for a long time. Lift bit's flooded. There's the lift. Governor's fucked.
And now let's take a look at the top floor.
And the third floor looks like this.
And let's now go up to the motor room.
Got a diagram for a lift. That's weird.
Move this out of the way. Ah, Schindler, 1874.
415 volts to that device. Governor's in there. The logic. Oh yes, seen lots of these. Schindler classic. Your motor. In here there is. Oh, big aircon.
So then, let's now go back to the city where the video started, which is Liverpool. And in Liverpool, let's take a look at this abandoned shop.
Well, welcome to my new squat in Liverpool. It looks like it's had a bit of a paintballing accident. I'm not sure if that's the pattern of the wallpaper actually, or if it's, no, I think that's this pattern of wallpaper. You don't really have access to the rest of the building. There's the shop assistant. If people have been in here, it's cans. I reckon people do sleep in this, so. Yeah, I reckon homeless people sleep in here. Shall we try some RGB? Let's have all in RGB. Oh, there we go, that's better. All in RGB. Oh, I'd look nice when it's dark, actually. We're now opening our new shop. We are going to be selling, what do you want to sell in here? Drugs, yeah. Cannabis, cocaine, any drug you want. Let's pick the colour from the wall.
So then, now we go along to a fairly trashed URBEX site. Now with URBEX, I visit a lot of abandoned buildings to see what's in them, and be honest, a lot of abandoned buildings I visit I don't even upload to YouTube because they're just not up to the standards of what I want on my YouTube channel, because I'm not interested in trash buildings. Unlike some other URBEXs out there who put up videos over an hour long on a trash building, which I just don't see out as interesting for the viewers. Now this particular building in Liverpool just about scrapes through the threshold of what I find interesting. It's pretty trash, but still has some interesting features in it. So let's do a very quick look at its building.
Wow, got some posh lights up here. Stage. Oh, scaffold stairs there. Where do these go? There's your second bar. There's no motors on it. Oh.
That wasn't too bad.
So I recognise that one. Oh no, Oakland elevators. I don't actually recognise that. Those buttons at all. In the dumbwaiter we have. Oh, that is old, with those old limit switches. Oh, dumbwaiter's there! There's a chains. Literally just above is the dumbwaiter. So this dumbwaiter actually has a gate. Interesting. Got that crap on top. It's actually got chain holding it up there. So that's jammed, that's not even suspended. Got up there the motor. Motor, not much of a motor, tiny. Where's the logic? I say it's up there as well, but our logic's in the other cabinet there. Okay, what's inside it? Second bar. It's 2 bars. Old paintings. Some of these pictures are so strange.
That's an old theatre, isn't it? It's got to be.
Well, there's some old looking pictures. That picture is very weird. I don't know if it might be a movie scene or something. Domino's time. Ah. No, not quite. No. Come on, all of them.
And now let's go along to Oxford and let's take a look at some rare express lifts in the hospital.